Hi, this is Ms. Black, and I am here to do lesson number 6 in the primary color division. We're going to start a new area called Studio Art today. We are going to do dot painting. So the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to find this paper. You don't have the brown part, I think yours is black. Then you're going to need Q-tips. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk to our student before they start the activity, and we're going to talk about the different seasons. So like we're going to talk about what a tree looks like in the spring. Then we're going to talk about what a tree might look like in the summer. We're going to talk about what a tree might look like in the fall, and then what a tree might look like in the winter. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have our student go ahead and write in the words, tracing over it. A good activity to follow up with this would be, these are all written in print, but in Montessori, as we know, we do cursive. You can't really get everything out there with cursive writing yet. A lot of the stuff can only come to you in print. So go ahead and let them do this print, but then after you're done at some point, maybe during your language lesson for the day, you might remember these words and then have them practice writing them in their cursive. So I've talked to the student about what each tree might look like in different seasons, and we have come up with the colors that we think the trees might have during the different seasons. So I have all my paint lined up, and I'm going to take my tray and lay it to the side so that you can see it easily. I'm going to bring my Q-tips over. I'm going to bring my paper over. So we talked about what we thought spring might look like. For me, I think that it might be green, and it might have cherry blossoms on it, which are pink. So I'm going to open my green and my pink paint. I'm going to take a Q-tip, and I'm going to dab my Q-tip into the green first. Then I'm just going to dot the paint onto the spring tree. I'm going to talk to my student about what do leaves look like when they're on trees, when they're looking at them in the spring. So a lot of them will tell you that the leaves aren't even on each side of a limb. A lot of times they're in a diagonal from each other. So we want to use that vocabulary during the activity, and we're wanting to use the word, in this case, diagonal. We also want to talk about branches because that's a part of a tree. I'm going to do it a little quicker now so that we can move on. I'm going to take my Q-tip that has the green paint on it, and I'm going to stick it in the lid so that it stays clean. I have to wait till this dries before I can add the blossoms, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the summer tree. And the summer tree, when I think of a summer tree, I think of a solid green tree. So I'm yet again going to put green dots all over my summer tree. I'm going quicker because of time on the video, but your students should take their time because they're not limited like I am. Okay, so there's my summer tree with the green leaves. Now I'm going to move on to the fall. And when I think of a fall tree, I think of brown leaves and green leaves and orange leaves and red leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open my orange. I'm going to open my red, my yellow, and my brown. I'm going to leave the lids right next to my jars because that's where I'm going to rest my Q-tips when I'm done. So I'm going to start with brown, and I'm going to add some brown leaves around my tree. I'm going to put the Q-tip in the lid. I'm going to go to my yellow. I'm going to add some yellow leaves. My red, I'm going to add some red leaves in the mix. Orange. Okay. Then when I go over to my winter tree doesn't have leaves. If it had leaves on its branches, they would be falling off to the bottom. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put leaves at the bottom of the trunk, just like I might see during the winter. Okay, so let me show you quickly what a finished product might look like. This is what I did before we videoed, and this is what you might have at the end of your project. Thank you so much. This is the end of lesson 6.